Bird tough to defend? Why? Because you look slow as shit to me. So like, I'm missing something. So like, tell me what I'm missing. You know what I mean?
We can't, because I ain't gonna lie. I met Larry Bird tonight for the first time. I never met Larry Bird in my life, so I got to meet him, and that just gave me like, I was anxious. So I got some juices flowing for the game right now.
That day, that morning they came out with a USA Today article, and they said that Larry didn't have it no more. So he came out that night to make a statement, and I was just the prime candidate to be statement. Before the game, he told me, he was like, he just shook his head at me. He said, man, it's going to be a fucked up night for you.
Say the name Larry Bird, and instantly, images of grit, greatness. But when it comes to comparisons, especially with Luka Doncic, modern-day maestro known for his crafty footwork, elite vision, and high basketball IQ, everyone's flattered. In fact, when reporters asked Luka how he felt about being likened to the Celtics icon, his response was direct. He wasn't having it. Luka shut down the talk fast, making it clear he's not ready to embrace the next Larry Bird label.
I mean, yeah, I looked at it. I saw a lot of films how he played, but you know, you can't compare me to Larry Bird. You know, the thing he's done is just way. I mean, more and more games to go, a long time, so you can't compare me to Larry Bird. And you know, I just want to keep hooping, having fun out there playing basketball.
That's humility in its purest form. Luka Doncic isn't just shrugging the biggest legends. Let's be honest. Luka's game does echo Bird's in many ways. The pinpoint passing, the crafty, unshakable scoring, the way he can dominate a game without raw athleticism. But Luka's not ready to claim the comparison. Not yet. He gets it. Bird's place in NBA history is locked in. Luka's still building his end. That's what makes this so powerful. In an era where rising stars are so quickly labeled the next big thing, Luka chooses the long road. He's not asking for the spotlight, he's earning it, one game at a time. Right now he's focused on doing what he loves, hooping, smiling, and chasing greatness on his terms. Meanwhile in Boston, Jason Tatum is feeling that same weight of history. Putting on a Celtics jersey isn't just suiting up, it's stepping into a legacy. And for Tatum, there's one name that towers above the rest, Larry Bird. He didn't just grow up hearing about Bird, he studied him. He felt the greatness, understood the dominance, and now, he's on a mission to follow in those footsteps. In a recent interview, Tatum made it crystal clear. In Boston, greatness is defined by Bird. That's the bar. And he's chasing it with everything he's got.
The thing that fuels me is, like, Larry Bird's the best player to ever wear a Celtic uniform. And, you know, that's the guy that, you know, whether it's averaging 30 that one season or having a 60 point in one game, like tying his record, like sometimes just being in the same conversation with him as far as records and things like that go. And, you know, you should strive to be the best. He's the best Celtic of all time. Even if I fall short of that a little bit, you had a hell of a career.
Now that's respect at the highest level. Jason Tatum isn't living in a fantasy. He knows exactly what Larry Bird meant to the Celtics. He understands just how massive that legacy is. And he's not claiming he can match it. But that's not stopping him from chasing it with everything he's got. Bird took home 3 MVS Tatums. Still working toward his first. Bird led Boston to 3 titles. Tatum is still fighting for his shot at 1. Bird ruled the league for over a decade. Tatum, he's laying the foundation for a similar run. For Tatum, this isn't about replacing a legend. It's about honoring one by pushing himself to reach his full potential. Because the truth is, even if you come up just shy of Larry Bird, you've still carved out a Hall of Fame career. And if Tatum does reach that level, then Boston might just witness the rise of its next all-time great. Then there's Kevin Durant, a 4-time scoring champ, 2-time NBA champion, and one of the smoothest defensive forces the game has ever seen. Durant has spent his career rewriting the scoring book, collecting accolades, and solidifying his place in the history of the game. Yet, even with all he's achieved, there are certain names that still make him pause, that still make him smile. Larry Bird is one of them. When Durant found out he was being mentioned in the same sentence as Larry Legend, his reaction wasn't arrogance, it was joy, pure excitement. Even KD, one of the greatest to ever do it, knows that being compared to Bird isn't just a compliment, it's a badge of honor.
Hell yeah, somebody texted me after the game and showed me a screenshot, and I was giddy like a little kid. I mean, grew up watching Larry Bird, and, well, not really, he's older, but you grew up kind of knowing the legend of Larry Legend, and you know, sort of to be amongst the greats. That's all you really want to do. That's a great accomplishment, but I keep going.
Even for someone like Kevin Durant, already a lock for the Hall of Fame, being mentioned alongside Larry Bird just hits differently. Bird isn't just a legend, he's a benchmark, a name used to define true greatness. And KD knows how rare that air really is. So when one of the most unstoppable scorers the league has ever seen lights up with excitement over being compared to Larry Legend, it tells you all you need to know about Bird's lasting impact. For Durant, that moment wasn't just another notch on his legacy. It was a reminder he's not just making history, he's joining it. But as KD himself has said, he's far from finished. Because for players at that level, chasing greatness isn't a destination. It's a lifelong pursuit. Now enter James Harden, a scoring machine in his own right, known for deadly step-backs, acrobatic finishes, and a playmaking IQ that's reshaped modern offense. Harden has made a career out of torching defenses and rewriting the rules of how to score, so when he officially moved past Larry Bird on the NBA's all-time scoring list, it wasn't just a number, it was a moment of reflection. Harden didn't just celebrate what he'd achieved, he paused to recognize who he had passed. Because Larry Bird isn't just a name you leap over in the stat sheet, he's a symbol of excellence. And for Harden, surpassing Bird meant honoring not just his own journey, but the legacy of one of the game's most iconic players.
Obviously, we know how great Larry was and the things he did in Boston. A legend, a legend. I think I play the game the right way, and hopefully, good things happen for me. Passing, one of the greatest ever played basketball. One of the greatest ever played basketball it's a great honor, and I just got to continue to go, because at the end of the day, I want my name to be, a mission with those greats.
That's the perfect mix of humility and respect from one of the most gifted offensive players the league has ever seen. James Harden knows today's NBA is a different game. The tempo is quicker, the court is more spaced out, and he's become a master at exploiting those gaps, turning footwork and finesse into nightly scoring clinics. But Larry Bird, he racked up numbers in a much tougher, more physical era. Back then, the three-pointer was more of a luxury than a weapon. The defense, smothering, every shot, every drive came with contact and consequence. So when Harden passed Bird on the all-time scoring list, it wasn't just another stat line to him. It was a moment of recognition, a sign of how far he's come and who he's now standing next to in the record books. Because Harden gets it. Legacy isn't just built on numbers, it's built on impact, and passing Bird wasn't about outscoring a name. It was about honoring a legacy while cementing his own. Because if the name is being mentioned alongside Larry Bird's, you're clearly doing something right. And when it comes to greatness, recognizing greatness, there's no voice louder than LeBron James. The king himself has spoken openly about his admiration for Larry Bird. In an interview, LeBron didn't hold back. He paid full tribute to Bird's legacy, highlighting not just his incredible resume, but the sheer will and competitive fire that made him legendary.
One of the greatest players to ever play this game. A kid from French Lick, Boston, and one of the few guys that ever be in a three-point contest and shoot with a warm-up shirt on. And but just as he played until he couldn't play no more. Obviously, we know that he just played till he literally couldn't play the game no more. He gave everything he had.
And that right there, that's what hits hardest. Because if anyone understands what it means to pour everything into the game, it's LeBron James. And when he looks at Larry Bird, he sees more than a stat line. He sees a warrior who gave his all until his body couldn't keep going. Bird's career didn't fade because his skills did. It ended because the toll of constant competition finally caught up with him. His heart and mind were still locked in battle mode, but physically, the grind wore him down. For someone like LeBron, who spent decades mastering the art of longevity, kind of relentless sacrifice earns deep respect. But it wasn't just Bird's toughness that stood out to LeBron. It was the attitude, the edge, the swagger, like the time Bird strolled into the three-point contest. Didn't even bother taking off his warm-up shirt, and still drained shot after shot like it was nothing. That wasn't arrogance, that was pure confidence, backed by skill. That was Larry Legend. Because for Bird, it wasn't just about winning games. It was about dominating the moment, owning the court, making you remember him, and decades later, we still do. Larry Bird didn't just show up for the moment, he lived for it, and LeBron James sees that. He recognizes that Bird wasn't just a top-tier talent, he was a showman, a strategist, and a relentless competitor who thrived when the lights were brightest. Bird could talk trash with the best of them, break you down physically, beat you mentally, and then seal the deal with a cold-blooded three just to let you know it was personal.